Stewart here again with more tips, tools, and tactics for men and marriages on how to break free and stay free from pornography and the effects of it. Again, I work with men and marriages every day of the week in my private practice, helping men and marriages do just that, break free and stay free from the effects of pornography. These are the concepts in my book, The Porn Antidote, which you can find on Amazon. But also, before I dive into today's tactic, which is water level, it's really great. Guys love this stuff. Please check out my blog, the-antidote-blog.com. That's the-antidote-blog.com. Check it out. Great information. Putting out content weekly. You'll be the first to find out about more videos like this and more content. Let's dive right in here. I work in a city full of engineers. And engineers don't like to get into mushy-gushy feelings. So when we're getting into pornography, to why they use pornography, to healing their marriages, we've got to get in there and deal with emotions. That's what drives this. If you recall from the last two videos on the three brains, that emotional brain drives everything. So we got to get to that emotion stuff, but do it in a way that makes sense for us as guys. It doesn't feel like a pansy or overwhelming. So a way that makes it more concrete. And this is one that the engineers in this town love. I like it. Makes a lot of sense to me. I know families use this concept as a whole family. Really helps marriages be able to communicate in a way where they really know what's going on. And it helps them really calm things down a bit. Because if you recall, once we get too upset, that emotional brain takes over, the thinking brain checks out, and we're all done. So the idea is, think about, this is my stick man here, and this is water. If you imagine having your feet tied to the bottom of a pool, and begin to put water in the pool. When the water is here, not much of a problem. You give this guy a wave, no concern, no fear about drowning, so he's going to be okay. However, you start raising that water level some. Up here at the neck, still concerning, but not a problem, aware of it. And this may be things during the day. It could be your boss is a jerk. It could be you come home and your wife is yelling at you because she's so mad about finding out about the pornography. Could be just you're feeling inadequate at work. Could be any number of things. Whatever it is, the water level's going up. Could be finances. So as it goes up more, we get a little more anxious, concerned. Now it gets up to right around the nose level. When the water level gets here, now we're anxious. Now that feeling brain is really kicking in saying danger, danger. Because if the water level's here, you give me a little wave, a little ripple even, I'm aware that I can't breathe. So I'm getting more intense. I'm getting more vigilant. I may be getting more angry. Where you're going to start going into some level of fight, flight, or freeze. That's our natural survival modes. It's very rigid, very overwhelming. And so that's where a lot of guys, as this water level goes up, start becoming aware of this desire to find pornography. They might have been wanting to look at anything. I got busted last night, but now as the tension level goes up, remember, when the feeling brain kicks in and it's really getting overwhelmed, the thinking brain checks out, the thinking brain that says, danger, don't do this. That thinking brain says, make this pain, make this stress go away at any cost. And pornography does that. Remember, pornography makes this part of the brain really focus and then shut down. All the other problems go away. So here we are right with the water level, the nose, getting anxious, going to some level of fight, flight, or freeze. So you might be okay here, but if it goes up at all, that's where we really start getting in trouble. Now, if the water level's up here, I can't even tip my head up and get a breath. This is when we are in full-out panic. This is when that part of my brain says we're going to die. Even though I logically know somewhere in my brain we'll be okay tomorrow, we'll get through this. But in that moment, I need something to make this go away right now. Now, watching the guys, they talk about this. I'm so overwhelmed. My wife doesn't believe me. My kids are yelling and screaming. My boss is being a jerk. The finances are coming in. It's too much. I can't stand it. That guy's talking about walking into the house and they feel all the stress from the day. They feel all the stress coming into the house knowing their wife is still mad at them and they're afraid of what's going to happen. And they know the damage is caused. And all they can think about is finding that office, finding the bathroom with a cell phone, and go finding a way to check out. They know it's the wrong thing logically, but that emotional brain says, get out of here at all costs. So being aware of this, just being aware of where your water level is, because a lot of times you don't pick up on it till it's up here. Pick up on it while it's rising. That stress level, the goal is to then connect. The brain works really well. Hear this, please. The brain works really, really well when it's doing two things at the same time. Feeling and connecting. When those go together, it really regulates that brain, calms that part of the brain down, that emotional brain, and brings the water level down. Because when we're up here, we're reactive, we're overreactive, we're shutting down, whatever that might be. It makes the problem worse. So it's feeling and connecting, telling somebody, whether it's a guy, some dude you told what's going on, that loves you, that cares about you, and he just prays with you or he's there with you, brings it down. Ideally, that's your wife. We can tell her it's overwhelming and she can respond in a loving way. If the pornography's been in the picture, it's hard for her to respond many times because she's feeling her own pain. So it's all about doing that, feeling and connecting, knowing where you are, knowing if you're getting up here, you're getting in the danger zone, so we got to find some way to help out here. For guys, that can be texting one of the guys in your group, whether it's Celebrate Recovery, SA, find your group of people and connect with them. Just telling them what's going on lowers that. Remember, when you even acknowledge what you're feeling to another person, that's the connecting, your brain releases oxytocin. It's a natural opiate. It's like Xanax. Calms that down, brings that water level down a little more. Then I can think better, I make better choices. Otherwise, kind of the perfect storm is when you have the husband is right here, and now the wife is up there. And you have two people just going at it because they're both overwhelmed. I call that hair on fire. You can't think straight. It's hard to think through what you're doing. It's really overwhelming. It's really consuming. So part of this, like I said, is being aware of what you're feeling. Connecting helps that come down. What's also fantastic, and there's a couple of people I know that are really taking this and run with it. It's called signaling. Signaling. Think about baseball. You're signaling to steal second base. Calling plays from the side of the basketball court in the NBA. When there's a clear signal, we know what to do with it. If you're driving and the people actually use the turn signal, we know what to do. Many people don't know what those things are. That's a different story. But when there's a clear signal, we know how to respond in a loving, caring way. For guys to signal and say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed or hurt or afraid, we don't do that. We'd rather die first. We'd rather die than admit we're weak or we failed at something. So we'll be angry or we'll shut down or just go numb. So simply saying, my water level's up, I'm feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed. If somebody tells you my water level's here and they get what that means, they realize you don't have much to give right now. I need to give you some space so this can calm down. Or what do you need so I can help you do that, rather than trying to keep dealing with the kids and the finances and the boss right then. I know families that do this where, well, first of all, in marriages, when if the wife says this, I'm right here, the husband can give her some space. For the husband, the guy, especially as an engineer in this town, this is a way to talk about emotion, simply talk about intensity. But it's a clear signal for the wife, for that person to know what to do with it, and it smooths things out. They can do this dance that works a lot better. I work with several families where they use this as a family. No, they don't walk around all the time doing a salute, showing where their water level is, but it's great because the mom or dad can tell the kids, hey, I'm right here, and the kids get it, back off. This is not the time to ask mom or dad for money or the car or to tell them I broke something, give them some space. Also, the kids can come in and tell the parents, hey, I've had a really horrible day. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I've got exams, and who knows what else. I haven't slept well, so I'm right here. Helps the parents back off and give them a little space, too, so they don't keep on doing that same dance and really getting angry at each other. So I hope this is helpful for you. The big idea, feeling, connecting, water level. Know where you are. When you feel it going up, the best thing you can do is connect. Tell the Lord about it. Tell the Lord explicitly what you're thinking and feeling. Calms it. Find one or two people in your life. You can tell them, I'm just stressed and overwhelmed. Knowing they're there with you, knowing they're praying for you and engaging helps calm that down. Or you can even use this in your marriage or your family. It's amazing how it just smooths things out. It makes it work better. Not perfect, but keeps you from getting stuck. So again, this is Carl Stewart. Thank you for tuning in. Please go right now, if you would, to check out the-antidote-blog.com. And we'll see you next time with the temptation curve that takes us to a whole other level.